All right, so Desiree, tell the folks that are watching where we're at right now.
So this is our tasting room.
Okay.
Yeah. Used to be our dining room before we started all of this.
Really?
Yeah. And then we
Okay.
turned it into the tasting room.
So when you bought the house, this was the add-on you talked about in the 90s
Right.
as well.
Yeah.
And so you guys, what, Thanksgiving dinner in here?
Yeah, we used it once or twice a year, Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's separate from the rest of the house. Has its own entranceway, so we didn't come back here very much.
Right.
So when we decided to start a winery, we thought this room would lend to be really nice as a tasting room with all the windows. People can see, the grapevines, the patio, and so forth like that.
This is perfect. Like, I can't even imagine it's a dining room because it's just so beautiful. So obviously right now during COVID, you have some different rules with the bar, but talk about this bar. This is beautiful.
So my husband built the bar.
Wow.
And the bar top was one piece of wood that he found from a mill way back in the woods in Tennessee. And he had to basically go almost off-roading to this gentleman's mill. And we found this one piece that was curved in this way. And so it just lent itself perfectly to be our bar top.
So folks can come here during, obviously, your business hours, and then they can pay for a tasting of different types of wine, just like all wineries, and they get to look at the menu and all of those.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about sweet tea wine. Talk about a few others that are your more popular ones.
So we just bottled our very first Cab Merlot blend, 50/50, and we aged it for 3 weeks in a freshly dumped bourbon barrel from Julian Brown's distillery in Franklin.
Okay.
And so it only sat in there for 3 weeks because it was just dumped one day, and the next day we had the wine in it, and so it imparted those flavors pretty quickly.
Right.
So we just finished bottling that, and people have been waiting for that because it's been about 6 months in the making.
And that's a dry.
It's a dry red.
Dry
Yes.
red.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And then we've got some other dry. We've got 2 dry reds, 2 dry whites. One of the dry whites is a Saval Blanc, similar to a Sauvignon Blanc, and
Okay.
we aged it in a tequila barrel for a month. So it's kind of smooth and buttery tasting, so forth like that. And then we've got several sweet wines. We've got a strawberry, a Balvin Muscat. We have a Vignole that is very popular, and those are white wines, sweet. And then we've got a Concord and a strawberry, and then of course a sweet tea
Oh,
and
nice.
a peach. Yeah. There's like I think
You've got so many.
Yeah. Well, the peach is a semi-sweet peach. He didn't go like all the super sweet on it. So it's got lots of flavors of cinnamon and spice. I call it the Christmas wine. It tastes like Christmas.
Oh yeah. So you kind of cross over, and instead of I'm only a sweet or I'm only a dry, it kind of mixes the two.
Yeah, we try and have enough variety for everybody. People who like dry stuff, people who like the semi-dry, people who really like sweet stuff. So we're trying to please the whole gamut.
So at the wine festival, you all will have several of those wines there.
Yes.
Not all of them, maybe.
Yes.
And folks can come with your ticket. You get 8 tasting tickets. We are limiting the wineries this year because of COVID. We have to space. You all know the drill. But the great thing is that you're going to have less. I don't know about for you, but when I go to somewhere, if you give me less of a variety, then I can actually pick it faster. But once you go to each one of our wineries, they're each going to have probably 8 to 15 different wines that you can try.
Yes.
So with your tastings, and then you say, you know what, I really like the so-and-so, I really like the sweet tea, whatever, wine you're really enjoying there. And you can go back and buy the glass, buy the bottle, buy a case if you would like. They're going to have it there that you can then take home and enjoy. All right, Desiree, so the other thing is that you guys, other than the normal tastings that folks can come through and do right now, or at any point in time, you all have events out here at your beautiful property. So tell us a little about what's coming up and how do we find out more?
So in September, we've got some at the end of August, but in September 5th, we have a cotton barbecue food truck that comes out, and we have a 2-person band called the Folk Project, and we do music and food. It's from 6 to 9. We do movie nights once a month. We play a big screen, we put on a big screen a movie, and people come sit on the lawn with their lawn chairs. Typically when we do that, we have charcuterie that people can purchase.
Nice.
And those are $10 for tickets for the movie.
Okay.
It includes popcorn and a complimentary glass of wine, and then the charcuterie is separate. We're going to, I don't know the exact dates yet, but we're going to do opera in the vineyard. We have a big stage where we put our bands and so forth on, and we're going to have some opera singers from this area come and put on a show with opera, and so we haven't even named it yet, but that's coming up, and that's something that people can check out on Instagram and Facebook on our events and so forth like that.
Awesome, and we're gonna, of course, attach all of our social postings rather to your all socials, so folks can just click on there and stay up to date with what's happening here. We're here in Rockville, Kentucky at Traveler Cellar Winery, and one last thing, why Traveler Cellar?
So my husband and I like to travel, and we try and travel as much as we can. This last year we haven't been able to do that too much because of not only COVID, but we started a winery.
A little busy.
But that is kind of in our DNA. We both like to travel, go to new countries, new places, taste wine, eat the food. And then we have the cellar, which we were in a little while ago, the wine cellar, and so it just kind of lended to itself, Traveler's Cellar. It's who we are, we're travelers, and we have the cellar downstairs.
Love it. You will get no more better history and great information and wonderful owners. Again, thank you. We're going to do some tastings.
Cool.
Super excited. September 19th. Get your tickets, etownevents.com.